During the early postnatal period, we aim to provide the best possible care to you and your baby to assist with the smooth transition to parenthood. If your baby is born in hospital, your length of stay can be from 24 hours to 5 days and may include early transfer home with the community midwives. The amount of time you would be advised to stay in hospital will depend on the type of birth and your recovery and how well your baby is feeding. The midwife will discuss your transfer home to the care of the community midwives or the public health nurse. We ask that you respect our visiting policy with only your birthing partner able to visit you and baby, and this ensures mum and baby get as much rest as possible. Eating well and staying hydrated is important during the postnatal period. Your personal hygiene and wound care is essential in the postnatal period to keep you and your baby safe and well. The midwife will examine you to assess you are well and recovering both physically and emotionally, and support you and your baby as you transition to motherhood. Referrals to specialist services such as lactation and physio will be completed during your stay in the unit. Before discharge, your baby will have a series of discharge checks, including a hearing screen, baby physical check and a weight. We will notify your public health nurse of the birth and ask you to give her your discharge summary along with your GP. Your public health nurse will visit you in the first 10 days after birth, and the GP should see you at 2 weeks and 6 weeks.
Hi, I'm Mary Phelan, one of the lactation consultants here in St Luke's Hospital. Together with my colleague Marie Woodcock, we provide specialist care and support around infant feeding. We are based on the maternity unit Monday to Friday from 9 to 5. Part of our role is to assist in preparing and supporting parents in the decision on how to feed their baby. Breastfeeding gives your baby the optimum start in life. It is species-specific milk, which is human milk for human babies and is ever-changing in composition throughout your breastfeeding journey. Your breast milk gives your baby so much protection and all the nutrients they need for the first 6 months. After 6 months and beyond 2 years of age, as recommended by the World Health Organization, your breast milk continues to be an important part of your baby's diet as well as other foods. There is lots to think about in pregnancy when you're preparing to breastfeed your baby. It is important to have gained an understanding of the expected norms of breastfeeding, especially in the early days and weeks. This, along with the right support, can help you and your baby on the right path to successful breastfeeding. You can obtain this information many ways while pregnant. At each of your antenatal visits, there is an opportunity to discuss any concerns or issues you may have around feeding. Our antenatal education programme includes a breastfeeding preparation workshop. You can register for free classes by email at slk.antenatal@hsc.ie. If there is an individual issue that you would like to discuss in relation to feeding your baby, you can ask your healthcare provider to refer to us here in St Luke's and we'll have a chat about your concerns one-to-one. Attending a peer support group in the community, such as La Lesh League or Quiz-U, can be really beneficial while pregnant. Become familiar with the HSC website mychild.ie, which has evidence-based information and a live web chat with a lactation consultant. Read lots of information on breastfeeding on our website mychild.ie and in your My Pregnancy booklet. So congratulations on your pregnancy. I look forward to meeting you and your family soon.
Changing your newborn's nappy is one of those things you'll be doing 7 or 8 times a day, so it's best to be organised from the start. Make sure you have everything you need ready and close to hand. Place your baby on a clean, soft, flat surface. Open the nappy and wipe away excess stools from the genital area with the corner of the nappy. Hold your baby by the ankles and lift up their bottom. Use soft cotton balls or a wet cloth to clean your baby. Clean around the umbilical cord area. For a girl, be sure to wipe from front to back. This will help minimise the spread of an infection. Swap a clean nappy for the dirty one. Use the tabs to see which way goes up. Avoid covering the umbilical cord as this can cause irritation. For a boy, keep his penis pointed down. Fasten the nappy at both sides with the tapes, making sure it's snug, but not so tight that it pinches the skin. Retape the soiled nappy around the contents, put it in a plastic bag and discard it in the bin. Dress your baby and wash your hands thoroughly. Babies wet their nappies several times a day. The number of wet nappies is a helpful sign of how much fluid the baby is taking in. Generally, a baby should have 5 to 6 wet nappies each day. This is a good indication that they're getting enough milk.
Put your cold water in first, you add your hot, you just check it with your elbow. If it's comfortable for your elbow, it's fine for the baby. It's about 36 degrees centigrade, the water temperature. You put your hand underneath the baby's head like that. You just took the baby under your elbow resting on your hip. Now I'm holding the baby in the same position and I'm going to wash the baby's hair. So just wash it nice and gently. This is a very good baby. And I'm going to come back onto my mat and I'm going to lie the baby back down and I'm going to dry the baby's head well. Babies lose a lot of heat from their heads, so make sure that you dry the baby's head very well. Now, when you're lifting the baby into the bath, just turn the baby over on its side, over in this position. Just put one arm, your left arm, underneath the head and hold on to the left arm. And put your right arm underneath the bottom and hold on to the left leg. Now you see there is no way this baby's going to fall on me. I've got the head well supported with my arm here on the left and I've got a good grip of the baby. Now nice and gently you're going to let the baby into the bath. If the baby's enjoying it, of course, just leave them in for a little while. Babies are very used to water from being inside, so they love the sound of the water. I'm going to lift the baby out again. Now you see I'm lifting the baby out nice and gently. So you settle them down, give them a little cuddle, settle them down, and then you're going to dry the baby off well. Don't forget areas where they can get sore if you leave them wet. All babies are quite fat in here, so get right in there under the chin, because if you leave areas wet, they're going to get red and sore. They're all get right onto the armpit here, where they're like that. And another areas get right onto the behind the knees and in the groin area. They're areas that can actually get sore if you leave them wet. So you make sure that you dry those areas off very well.
Under the maternity and infant scheme, your baby is entitled to 2 free visits after the birth called the 2 and 6 week checks. Both yourself and your baby will be checked on the same day for the 6 week check. When booking this appointment, it is a good idea to inform the receptionist what the appointment is for, so that your baby can be registered on the system in advance of the visit. The 2 week check is usually a very short visit. It's just for your baby and will be done by either your GP or practice nurse. The main aim of this visit is to weigh your baby and to listen to any concerns that you may have. The 6 week check is then a more thorough examination of your baby from head to toe. Your GP will initially ask you if you have any concerns about your baby and will ask specifically about feeding. Feel free to bring up any worries that you may have during this appointment. Your GP will give you general advice on feeding, weaning and vaccines. Your GP will then examine your baby. We will examine baby's general appearance, heart, lungs, eyes, hips, reflexes, weight, and will do various measurements. If you have a baby boy, we will check their test days and will ensure that they are in the right position. If any issues arise or if your GP has any concerns, they will discuss this with you and make a plan. Once this exam has been completed, a baby can then proceed to have their first set of vaccines. These are usually given by the practice nurse. Your GP will then proceed to carry out the 6 week check on yourself. This is a really good opportunity to chat to your GP if you have any concerns or worries about yourself or about how the newborn phase is going. They will ask about the birth itself and establish whether you had a vaginal delivery or a cesarean section. They will ask about your birth experience in general and will explore any concerns that you may have around that. They will ensure that you have good support at home and are not displaying any signs of postpartum depression. If you are struggling emotionally or are feeling anxious or depressed, it is really important to chat to your GP or public health nurse about this so that they can support you through it at an early stage. Your GP will inquire about whether your periods have returned and will offer you contraception at this visit. They will explain the options available to you based on whether you are breast or bottle feeding at the time. They will also remind you to stay up to date with your cervical smear tests. Your GP will likely do a physical check including your blood pressure, a urine test. They will ensure that your womb has reverted back to its pre-pregnancy size and will finally check that any vaginal tears or episiotomy wounds are healing well. If you've had a cesarean section, they will check the wound for any signs of infection. Again, this is a really important visit for you as a mum and for your baby, so feel free to ask your GP lots of questions if you have them. And I wish you and your baby the very best.